First of all, let's take a look at how the Nigerian markets did today. The NSE All-Share Index closed at 33,429 today, down by 0.11%. That was on the back of losses that we saw in Dangote Cement, also Guinness. We also saw losses in WAPCO, CCN, and of course, WAPCO declared a dividend of 1 naira 20 kobo. That is less than a 2% dividend yield. So it looks like the market reacted negatively to that. We also saw CCNN declare profit after tax down 48%, even though the revenue went up 8.7%. So the market came down as a result of that. But still on the Nigerian market space, let's move on to the banking sector as plans. As part of efforts to reduce the number of unbanked people in the country, CBN recently released guidelines for agent banking in Nigeria. Now, to discuss this and other developments in the Nigerian retail banking space, we have Olumide Akindele. Now, he is the head of propositions and liability at Diamond Bank. Olumide, it's great to have you on the show. Now,
good to have you too.
Great. Now let's move straight on. Of course, we don't know when you're actually going to when CBN is going to announce the commencement of the proposed agent banking in Nigeria. Is this something that we can expect sooner rather than later?
Actually, the CBN did release the guidelines in February, second week in February. So, in effect, the guidelines guiding the agent banking in Nigeria are out. So it's now left to the market to react and begin to actually, formulate policies to, support that rules.
Of course, now, I mean, there's huge potential to capture a large segment of unbanked people. It'll be interesting to know the sort of activities the banks are embarking on right now, and how you're getting prepared for this.
Okay. It's interesting. The unbanked is probably definitely one of the areas that most banks want to focus on. But equally, we must also remember that the agent banking also is there to serve the currently banked people in Nigeria. Now, you can look at it from two different angles. You can look at it from the fact that, okay, well, I want to bring banking to already banked people. There are not enough branches and there are not enough coverage to mark all those are currently banked. But equally important, the second dimension is the unbanked space. As you rightly pointed out, that's a very big part of CBN's financial inclusion plan to actually look at the unbanked market. Now, this is a very new virgin area in terms of the Nigerian banking space. So it's very, very early days. Most banks, like ourselves, are looking at the regulation, the guidelines, and looking at how we can tap into this market as quickly and as cost efficient as possible.
Okay, but who are the potential agents here? I mean, who exactly are the banks targeting as agents?
Well, the CBN gave very, very strict guidelines in terms of who can be an agent. And reality is, if you ask me, anyone can be an agent, so long they meet certain conditions. It could be a sole trader, it could be a business, it could be a corner shop person, it could be, even the non-faith or non-government organization. So the CBN has made it very open in terms of who can be agent. The test is where the bank-led banks have decided who they think should be agents. Now, there are many things that will guide the decision of most banks, and I think the two things that are uppermost on most banks' mind is trust, because you need to find people that, forget whether they're business owners or whether they're individuals. You need to find someone that will trust you in your local community. And the second big issue is security. So, because you've really been in a lot of banking security. So, whilst the CBN has given a broad guide as to who can be an agent and also the requirements to be fulfilled to be an agent, you're still going to have a lot of banks, beginning to actually jostle and decide which type of agents fit their own strategy best.
I mean, yes, I was just going to mention the security concerns and also the plans that are in place to actually monitor these agents. And, obviously you're going to have to go through a lot of training for them as well. And I presume that this will be quite difficult and costly, especially in some of the rural areas.
Well, there are two dimensions to it. The agent banking and the agents in most of the rural areas already exist in some traditional way. So you're not really needing to actually get new brand people. They're the same people you want to actually tap into banking activities. So in terms of training, in terms of that has to be done. It's like introducing any other new product or any rule that CBN introduces, as normal course of doing business. So it's expected that bought into the cost of doing business in that space. The other driver is technology. I think technology is probably, the one big area where a lot of banks will focus on, because, you can scale up, with getting the right technology and the right form of attacking the market.